What's going on, football fans? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we're diving deep into the biggest coaching search of the 2025 offseason. The New York Giants, man, where do we even start? They made history this year, but not the kind you want to celebrate. First team eliminated from playoff contention, and they pulled the plug on Brian Daboll back in November after a brutal 2-8 start. The Giants aren't just thinking about next season anymore. They're all in on it right now. So today, we're breaking down the top 10 candidates who could be wearing that Giants headset next year. Some familiar faces, some rising stars, and a couple names that might actually surprise you. Let's get into it. But first, quick question for you. Drop a comment and let me know. Who do you think the Giants should hire? All right, let's jump in. Before we get to the candidates, let's set the stage. John Mara, the team's president and CEO, made it clear that Joe Schoen is staying on as general manager to lead this coaching search. And honestly, the job has some appeal. You've got Jaxson Dart, the promising rookie quarterback who's shown flashes of real potential. You've got Malik Nabers at receiver. That kid can ball. Andrew Thomas protecting the blind side, and Dexter Lawrence eating up blocks on the defensive line. That's a solid foundation. But here's the catch. The Giants have a history of playing it safe. They tend to hire the familiar, the comfortable choice. The question everyone's asking is whether they'll break that pattern this time or stick to what they know. Mara's already said he's done being patient. This franchise needs results, and they need them fast. So let's rank these 10 candidates from least likely to most likely to be the next head coach of the New York Football Giants. Starting at number 10, we've got Mike Kafka, the current interim coach. Now look, Kafka came out swinging in his first game. He put together an aggressive game plan that had the Giants up 10 on the Detroit Lions. Yeah, that Detroit team. Eventually lost in overtime, but still, it was impressive. Here's the reality, though. Close calls didn't save Brian Daboll, and they won't hand Kafka the keys to the franchise either. History tells us interim coaches almost never get the full-time gig unless they absolutely blow everyone away. Kafka would need to engineer some serious wins down the stretch and show undeniable progress to even stay in the conversation. Possible? Sure. Probable? Not really. At number 9, we have Antonio Pierce, fresh off his one-and-done stint with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Pierce has Giants DNA. He was a Pro Bowl linebacker for Big Blue and helped them win Super Bowl 42. That's the kind of connection this franchise loves. He did a solid job taking over as interim coach in Vegas back in 2023, pulling the Raiders out of a nosedive. But his full-time run lasted just one season before they moved on. Does he have head coaching experience? Yes. Is it the kind of experience that gets you immediately hired? Probably not. But knowing how the Giants operate, don't be shocked if Pierce at least gets an interview. Legacy matters in New York. Number 8 is Jesse Minter, defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. If you want to know how to turn a team around fast, look at what Jim Harbaugh did in LA this year. 6-win improvement, playoff berth, the whole deal. And Minter's defense has been a huge part of that success. Now, the Chargers' D hasn't been quite as dominant as last year when they gave up the fewest points in the league, but Minter's still built something special. He's 42, he's got fresh ideas, and he's going to be on everyone's interview list this January. The Giants love their defensive-minded coaches, and Minter could bring that Harbaugh winning culture to New York. He's not the favorite, but he's definitely someone to watch. Coming in at number 7 is Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos. And listen, if you want someone who knows how to unleash a pass rush, this is your guy. Denver's defense is on pace to break the single-season sack record. That's insane. The Giants invested heavily in their defensive line. They brought in Brian Burns, they've got Dexter Lawrence, but the results haven't matched the investment. Joseph could be the one to finally unlock that potential. Now yes, his first head coaching run in Denver didn't go great, but he was also stuck dealing with the post-Peyton Manning mess at quarterback. With a promising young QB like Jaxson Dart already in place, Joseph could get a second chance to prove himself as a head coach. Maybe not in New York, but somewhere. At number 6, we've got Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. You could also slot Arthur Smith or Cliff Kingsbury here, basically any offensive coordinator with head coaching experience, but Nagy's probably next in line. Here's the thing, Kansas City's offense has been just okay this season. Nothing spectacular, but Nagy has that experience, he's worked with quarterbacks, and if the Giants decide Jaxson Dart's development is their number one priority, an offensive mind like Nagy makes sense. Is it exciting? Not really. But it's practical, and sometimes practical wins out. Number 5 might surprise some people. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator of the Chiefs. Fun fact, the Giants have already interviewed Spags twice. Once in 2016 and again in 2018 after he served as interim head coach following Ben McAdoo's firing. Both times they passed. So why would this time be different? Spags is turning 66 this month. He's been around the block. But if the Giants want someone who can stabilize the ship quickly, someone who knows the organization inside and out, Spagnuolo could get a third look. Is it likely? Probably not. But stranger things have happened, and the Giants love going back to familiar faces. At number 4, we have Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Now here's where things get interesting. John Mara went to Boston College, and guess who was the head coach there from 2020 to 2023? Yep, Jeff Hafley. But this isn't just about connections. Hafley's running an aggressive attacking defense in Green Bay that could be a perfect blueprint for the Giants, especially with rookie pass rusher Abdul Carter, who's drawn comparisons to Micah Parsons. Hafley knows how to develop young defensive talent, and that's exactly what New York needs. Plus, he's from Montvale, New Jersey. Local guy, college connection with the owner. Rising star in the coaching world. Hafley checks a lot of boxes. Coming in at number 3 is Mike McCarthy, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. McCarthy sat out this season after Dallas moved on, and honestly, that might work in his favor. He's a known commodity with a Super Bowl ring, extensive experience calling plays, and a track record of developing quarterbacks. The Giants actually interviewed McCarthy back in 2020 before he took the Cowboys job, so there's already familiarity there. At 61, he's not some young up-and-comer, but he represents a higher floor than a lot of the other candidates. And let's be real. After being a rival for years, McCarthy knows the Giants, knows the division, and knows what it takes to win in the NFC East. If New York wants someone who can come in and compete immediately, McCarthy makes a lot of sense. At number 2, we have Lou Anarumo, defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. After getting fired by the Bengals, Anarumo has completely revitalized a Colts defense that was struggling. And guess what? He's got Giants connections all over the place. He was the defensive backs coach in New York back in 2018. He worked with Joe Schoen in Miami for 6 years. His son is literally a pro scout for the Giants right now. And here's the kicker. The Giants already interviewed him in 2022 when the Bengals were making their Super Bowl run. The timing wasn't right then. But now, with Anarumo proving he can build elite defenses and all those organizational ties, this could be the perfect match. Don't sleep on Lou Anarumo. And finally, at number 1, the frontrunner in my opinion, Chris Shula, defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, that's Shula, grandson of the legendary Don Shula. But Chris has made his own name this season. The Rams' defense ranks 31st in spending, dead last, basically. But Shula has them playing way above their payroll. He's getting maximum output from minimum investment, which is exactly what the Giants need. He's 39, which means he's young and energetic, but not inexperienced. And here's the kicker. He's from the Sean McVay coaching tree. If Shula comes to New York, there's a good chance he brings some McVay-minded assistants with him for the offensive side. That could help Jaxson Dart's development even if the head coach is a defensive guy. John Mara loves legacy, and the Shula name carries serious weight. Chris Shula is developing young talent, maximizing limited resources, and turning heads across the league. If I'm putting money on someone, it's him. So there you have it, the 10 most likely candidates to be the next head coach of the New York Giants. From Mike Kafka at the bottom to Chris Shula at the top, this coaching search is going to be fascinating to watch. Quick recap. Shula's the favorite in my book, followed by Anarumo with all those connections, then McCarthy with that veteran experience. Hafley's the rising star, and don't count out Spagnuolo for a third interview if they want to play it safe. But here's my question for you. Am I crazy for putting Shula at number 1? Should McCarthy be higher? Is there someone else the Giants should be looking at? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more NFL content. We're covering all the coaching searches, playoff races, and everything else you need to know this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.